Welcome back to Scott Ferrell Show. If you have any questions, go ahead and email us, questions@scottferrell.com, or send us a text, 706-889-9700. As I said, as we were going to break, I've got the founder, Jonathan Loudermilk. He's the founder of and CEO of 180 Sports Performance. Jonathan, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Scott, for having us today.
Here's why I wanted Jonathan to come by. For one, I used to be a high school coach, and I know what it's like to coach kids who went on to play D1 sports and go to the pros. And Jonathan himself was able to do much of that. And we're seeing a growing population that want to continue on and get a free education, so they want to trade sports for an education. Now, I'm going to start with what he does now, and then we're going to go back because I want to talk about your early days on why you really want to do this. Now, currently, you're one of the top sports performance trainers in the country. But you got trained by a guy who's got quite the resume. Can you give us a little background on that?
Fortunately, I grew up in Metro Atlanta, outside of in Gwinnett County, and a good friend of mine's dad is Chip Smith. Chip is considered to be the godfather of the sports performance industry. He's owned several sports performance companies since the early 90s, probably trained now over 2,000 NFL athletes, currently working with about 60 MLB players. He trained the Chinese Olympic team for 2 Olympic Games, and his resume about a mile long. He's considered, again, as the godfather of our industry. The who's who of sports in the last 20 years has trained with him, from Pele to Herschel Walker, most recently Colin Kaepernick, Amanda Weir, Olympic swimmer, you name it.
Wow, and the funny thing is, it's that would be the equivalent if you went back. That's like having the first of everything. So you had the godfather of a particular genre to do that, and now everybody seems to be a sports performance trainer. The reason I liked yours was you're legit. You got trained by the best. There's no way for you to get better training. You started with the number one guy, and now you're almost like number two. I'd say that, but he's also got a son that's a trainer too. But I'm gonna say you're number two because you're here with me. Now, as far as training, you've got a really nice facility in Braselton, Georgia?
Yes, sir. Houston, Braselton area.
Braselton, Georgia is right outside Atlanta, about 40 miles?
Yes, sir.
And it's towards South Carolina.
Correct, up 85.
All right, so you've got this facility now. Now I want to go back. We'll get to that in a second. I want to get to Jonathan's story. Here's the funny thing. When Jonathan was a high school kid, I was still coaching. And I did coach in the Gwinnett County area out right outside of Atlanta. And I was a basketball coach. Well, the funny thing was I'd heard of Jonathan. Jonathan did not play basketball. He played football. I had heard the football coaches talking about you. And we were playing him that week. Got to stop this kid. Can't stop this kid. He's an animal. And I was like, who is this kid? And I don't know who Jonathan was. I didn't realize I'd be friends with him later. And y'all went on to beat us, probably. I'm assuming, because I can't remember, but
yes, sir.
Y'all's high school was pretty good. And you have now become part of the Hall of Fame in that high school.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so if you're proud graduate of North Gwinnett High School, Jonathan's in your Hall of Fame. That crop of kids, what year was your graduation from high school?
2003.
Here's the crazy thing, folks. I got to Atlanta in 97. The crop of kids that were in the high schools from probably 99 to the year you graduated was the best crop of kids that I have ever seen in high school at the same time. Now, keep in mind, when I was in high school, I was a junior in high school, a guy named Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Gerald Wilkins, Sleepy Floyd, and James Worthy were all in high school the same year in North Carolina that I was. Okay, that was a pretty good group, and 3 are in the Hall of Fame. The group you were in had David Pollock, Brian McCann, you, the Irons Brothers, Des Williams. I mean, I can keep going. I haven't hit Norcross High School basketball because all of them are on the wall in Kentucky. All of that. You get recruited to go to where?
I played college football at Eastern Kentucky University out of high school.
Let's talk about the first story, though. What was the first university to recruit you?
I was getting recruited by Louisville. We were looking at up at Louisville when John L. Smith was the head coach before he went to Michigan State.
And I got to get this in, guys. The guy that took over there, a guy named Bobby Petrino, not well loved in the state of Georgia. Jonathan ended up not getting the scholarship to where he wanted to go. It's funny because there was a, I guess, well-known coach Bobby Petrino, that you didn't end up with, but you finalized your career at a place called Sanford.
Correct, Sanford
With
University.
one of the coolest guys to ever put on a uniform and wear a whistle. Who was that?
Pat Sullivan, Coach Pat Sullivan.
And
was our
Coach
head
Sullivan's no longer with us now. He died of cancer. What was it like to play for a legend that had won the Heisman and been a great coach?
Coach Sullivan was just kind of like a fatherly, grandfatherly figure. He was a guy you could talk to. He'd share stories with you. You'd never know that he was the end-all, be-all in the Birmingham area or even down in the Auburn area of Alabama. He was a very approachable guy, and very thankful to have the opportunity to play for him. You know, to be around a guy who won the Heisman, played at a high level. He'd bring in guest speakers week in and week out, from Peyton Manning to Bo Jackson.
That's pretty cool.
Guys that you only see and dream about, and to hear their story and learn that at the end of the day, everybody has a story in life, and it's a matter of where they started and a matter of where they're going to.
All right, if you got a question for Jonathan, let me give you the way to do that. Questions at scottferrell.com, or you can send us the text really fast, 706-889-9700. All right, now that you said Bo Jackson, I got to hear this story. What was it like to meet Bo Jackson?
Bo pulled up. I met Bo several times in the Birmingham area. He's just as big now as he was back in his playing day. I think he and Herschel Walker may never age. But Bo came in, he talked to us, laid it out there for us, challenged us, talked to us about adversity through his injury with his hip and how he never really was able to play the game the way he did after it. But before he left, he challenged the fastest person in the room to a 40. And just about that time, one of our receivers jumped up and said, "I'm the fastest guy in the room, let's go run." And Bo told him that he didn't want to embarrass him in front of his friends. And so, unfortunately, the Bo Jackson, Jeff Moore 40 never took place, but it sure was an interesting boat of confidence out of Bo in probably his late 40s, early 50s, that he still says he has it at that level.
Wow. Meeting a legend. If you're an Alabama fan, did you meet the Alabama greats, or did he bring those by? He did go to Auburn.
Normally the Auburn
Just
guys.
checking. All right, so you've got Charles Barkley ever make it by?
No Charles.
How about Frank Thomas?
No, just Peyton and Bo my year. So he brought in other guys as they continued. But
How's Peyton as a speaker? He seems pretty funny.
Oh, he's very, very funny. Humorous guy, very straightforward, tremendous personality, not dry or, highly, overly intelligent or talking down to people. Just one of the guys. He came to the locker room, team meeting room, very approachable, just wanted to spend time with us and pour into us.
If you got a question for Jonathan, it's 706-889-9700 or questions at scottferrell.com. So you're in the Hall of Fame in high school, which is really cool. What was it like to go back and get inducted in the Hall of Fame?
The cool part is at North Gwinnett High School, there's some certain criteria you have to meet. You have to actually finish your college playing career. You can't just have had a decorated high school experience and not continue in progress. So it was neat. I was inducted, I believe, in 2008, right before I graduated college, which was neat. I knew some of the other inductees in that class. It was always great to go back to North Gwinnett High School. That's where I was born and raised, in the Beaufort-Swanee area, and to be able to go back and take part in an event and just say, hey, I did a job well done in high school, and now I've finished that race and can close that chapter of the book. But always something fun. Last year, our high school football team, I coach, played at North, and we dressed in the visitors' locker room. It was a little awkward to be on the other side of the coin. And, although we did go and shut out North Gwinnett that night and play a great game, it was funny because the kids at my current high school knew of the story or the history, and Gwinnett's an area rich in talent. And so it's always fun to share the past with the present and tell them the story from beginning to now.
Yeah, it's funny. When I moved here in 1997, the Atlanta area, the high school I was at and I was coaching in had never beaten North Gwinnett. You're looking at one of the coaches, one of the first coaches to have beaten North Gwinnett in 20 or 30 years. And it was so bad that the buzzer goes off. I'll never forget this. The head coach of the basketball team would not shake my hand. The buzzer went off and he just walked the locker room. When I got back to the high school, there was a parade that I had beaten this high school for the first time, and I can't tell you how many years. And the great thing was the school that Jonathan had attended is one of the best athletic high schools I think I've ever encountered. And it looks like they've had a little slippage there due to other high schools being expanded. But when we get back, I'm going to have Jonathan talk about how his career progressed. So he goes from being in the Hall of Fame, being a D1 athlete, to going to be a high school football coach on a whole different level, because state championship was part of his future, and then being CEO and founder of one of the #1 sports performance groups or locations in the United States. Again, I'm Scott Ferrell. This is Jonathan Loudermilk. He's going to be with me a couple more segments, and I might have Jonathan stick around for the mailbag. We're going to do a fitness mailbag to wrap up the whole thing. Go by our website, scottferrell.com, and hit us up on Facebook and like our page. Again, we'll be right back. Stay there.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $5 flavor menu. Just $5 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium one-topping pizza. Yes to Wing Street Wings. Yes to new stuffed garlic knots. And much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $5 flavor menu. Only at Pizza Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Elijah. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Switch and save at Schottenkirk Ford. Find quality pre-owned trucks under $20,000 and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned Fords in the area. Switch today and shop our network of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. We'll even deliver it to you. Plus, every vehicle sold comes with Schottenkirk Customer Care, which offers you extra protection for no extra charge. Make the switch to Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like meat lovers, backyard barbecue chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
El Rey in Elijah.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Elijah.
Welcome back to Scott Ferrell Show. My guest today is Jonathan Loudermilk. He is CEO and founder of 180 Sports Performance. Jonathan, when we left off, we were talking about the glory days of high school. But your days really are glory. It's not like the rest of us where you go, remember when? No, Jonathan's actually got a jersey retired in his high school. He's legit Hall of Fame. All right, so you go from being a player, and you always wanted to be a high school football coach, and you end up at a place called Mill Creek High School in northern, on the outside skirts of Atlanta. And you guys this past year went to state championship.
We've got put out in the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals.
Lost to the eventual state champs, Colquitt County.
What's it like as a player? How far did you make it when you were a player?
First round of the state playoffs.
College?
Marginal seasons.
Okay. So you go from the glory days of high school, then you have a marginal season in college. It's really tough because if you don't understand how tough it is to win at the college level, high school's one thing. When you get to the college level, it's a whole different story. And then you get to the pros, it's another different story. But now you're a coach. You're at the largest high school in the state of Georgia. Mm-hmm. One of the coolest programs. And you guys get that far and you lose to the eventual state championship. What was it like walking off the field knowing that also Jonathan was going to go ahead and leave coaching and pursue his dream of owning his own sports performance company full time? What was that emotion like?
A little bittersweet. For the last 9 years, I've been a high school coach in some realm or the other, from Hoover, Alabama, where I was head coach, to Cincinnati, Metro Cincinnati, Ohio, where I was athletic director. Last 3 years at Mill Creek, the largest high school in the state, as well as probably the Southeast. Just walking off that field knowing that we were so close, and bittersweet for those seniors, bittersweet for the community. Markham Stadium was rocking that night, 12,000 strong against Colquitt County. Great slugfest for 3.5 quarters, and just kind of in the waning minutes, let it slip. And to know that our kids were on the verge of their goal, which was to play in the state championship and have the potential opportunity to eventually win a state championship. And unfortunately see that, squandered away in the last 8 minutes is a tough thing to swallow. But knowing that those kids came together and did something that no one in school history had ever done before, to be a part of that, to go out on that note. On the way out the door, I asked our equipment manager if I could purchase a number 15 jersey, because it would be my last season in 2015 for football. And that'll hang proudly in my office, and it'll be a conversation piece and a memory for years to come. And those kids, they mean a lot to me. I spent 3 years with them from the time they were sophomores all the way till they graduated, which in coaching lingo, that's pretty much their career.
That's their career.
And it was a great way to go out on a high note.
Yeah, here's the weird thing. Jonathan's wrapping up his coaching, and he's going on to do something else. I wrapped up my coaching the year you graduated from high school. And it's weird to know that I've been out of coaching that long. And I did it a long time. I touched a little about my age. But it's great to see the kids like Jonathan and my former players. Jonathan's got 3 kids now. So you go from watching these kids from 13, 14, 15, all the way to 18 years of age, now in their 30s, and they've got kids. It's very gratifying, and he'll get to do this one day when he sees those kids come into his office. Now, you've got 180 Sports Performance, an amazing looking facility, and trust me, Jonathan knows this. If it didn't look good, I'd tell him. Now, I wouldn't say it on here, but I would tell him. It's one of the coolest places I've been. Now, for your facility, what are the athletes that you train? What are the sports?
We train every sport. We have a huge population and following in softball, baseball, as well as football and lacrosse. We have a sprinkling of athletes through basketball, volleyball. We even have some kids that come in from marching band, that want to have better footwork and be in better shape. We have kids that are swimmers and wrestlers, track and field, you name it. There's not really an athlete that's not in our building at this point.
I think you said marching band?
I did.
Wow. Okay, I graduated in 1983. I was a performer, and I played high school athletics. Marching band. People really get in shape for marching band?
They do. In Georgia, at least, the heat is insane, and those kids are out there in full uniforms, middle of the summer, marching hours at a time, carrying anywhere from a 10 to a 50-pound instrument. And like I tell the parents when they come in, because I guess they look for shock value when they tell me this. For me, I'm the biggest fan of any gift they have. And whether that's the little girl who was in my lobby the other night drawing my logo on her coloring book, or the athletes that walk in and say, Coach, I'm in the marching band, I'm a cheerleader, I'm this, I'm that. In my past career as athletic director, I told kids all the time, they could care less how much I know. They just want to know how much I care. And they want to know that love is spelled T-I-M-E. And so for me, I invest time and hours and build relationships with these kids, because even though I may not be able to play an instrument, or maybe I've never swung a golf club, or maybe I'll never be a volleyball player or a softball player, that's all irrelevant. All they care is that I'm there to meet them in my environment, train them up, coach them up, and put them back out into their environment as the best version of themselves.
All right, if you got a question for Jonathan, it's questions@scottferrell.com, or you can send us a text right now at 706-889-9700. Jonathan's website's being worked on right now, but he does have a Facebook page. What is that page?
You can find us on Facebook at the number 180 Sports Performance, 180 Sports Performance, and our Franklin, North Carolina location at 180 SP Franklin.
And he's got it right here on his shirt. 180 Sports Performance. You do sell these t-shirts, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you want a t-shirt, I've got one. It looks really cool, even on me. I'm Jonathan's size, but I'm only 5'7", if that tells you something. He's 6'5". They're great. They're comfortable. He's got a really cool logo, and you can look really cool. And if you don't even work out, people go, hey, man, where you work? You work out at 180 Sports Performance? Yeah, man. As you can tell, I look pretty good, don't I? All right, so you got this. You've got a facility now. Now, what? We won't mention names because, again, there's NCAA rules, etc. But if I'm a top shelf athlete and I'm a junior, senior, and I'm looking at D1 now, if you don't understand that breakdown, we'll handle that later. I'll come to you. What can I expect? If I do what you tell me to do, will I progress?
Absolutely. Yesterday I had a conversation with an inbound college basketball player. He's been training with us for the last 4 weeks, and told me that he feels like in the last 4 weeks he's improved more than he improved in 4 years. Our facility sets up almost a utopian or a perfect training scenario where we can control every phase of the athlete's life. Right. This particular athlete had been doing sports performance and speed training with us for the last 4 weeks. He told me the next 2 months before he leaves off on August 18th to go off and play college basketball, he wants to come in and do strength training as well. He's seen some of our other athletes who do both parts of our program and said, Coach, I need to be in here 16 times a month, lifting, running, and I need you to help map out a supplement or nutrition plan for me so that you can accelerate my progress through proper diet and nutrition.
Wow. And it's great to always hear an athlete, and you and I have been at the top level of, I progressed more in 4 weeks than I did in 4 years. Again, if you played athletics of any type, you understand how big of a deal that is. Again, our line is 706-889-9700, or you can go to questions@scottferrell.com. Give your Facebook one more time.
The number 180 Sports Performance, 180 Sports Performance, or our Franklin, North Carolina facility is 180 SP Franklin.
Let me ask a very important question for the parents. We got about 2.5 minutes less in a segment. Here's what I like about your facility. The parents are here and the athletes are over here. And there's no way for these to talk to these. But do you have Wi-Fi for the moms and dads so they can get the work done while they're there?
We do have Wi-Fi. We do have a climate-controlled lobby.
That means he's got air conditioning.
We have air conditioning. The athletes are equally as fortunate as we don't. And as I explained to parents, most sports are played outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
And if they're not played outdoors, I'll tell you this, my wife's been a volleyball coach. There is no air conditioning in the gym in the summer. There's no air conditioning in August. When school starts back, they may turn it on, but it cuts off at 3 p.m. strategically every day before the sporting events. So our facility is a on par to training condition facility. For our parents, they're in the lobby. We like to create a safe environment. And by that, all parents want what's best for their kid,
right.
But sometimes all parents have to remove themselves from the equation so their kids can get what's best for them. and I can tell you that our athletes thank us often for saying, Coach, I'm just so glad I don't have my dad or my mom in here yelling at me or griping at me or screaming at me or, telling me what to do. And I tell them, you're their parent, you're the expert in that field, I'm their coach and their trainer, I'm the expert in my field. Let me operate in my environment how you operate in your law firm or your bank or your business or your classroom or wherever it is you do business. You don't want anyone coming in telling you how to operate your business. Let me operate my business with my client, which is your child, in a positive, constructive environment so that we can build rapport and trust. Because parents will also tell me a lot, Coach, you got to tell them, they'll listen to you. Well, it's not that they don't want to listen to you, mom and dad. It's that for 14, 16 years, they've been hearing the same white noise, and over time, they just tune you out. When you say it, it's gossip. When I say it, it becomes gospel. And unfortunately, more often than not, it's the exact same message. It's just a matter of they're hearing it from a different source.
So you got Gossip to Gospel with Jonathan Loudermilk. It's going to be a new show here. He's Jonathan Loudermilk. I'm Scott Ferrell. We're going to be a couple more segments together. We'll be right back.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $5 flavor menu. Just $5 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium one-topping pizza. Yes to Wing Street Wings. Yes to new stuffed garlic knots. And much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $5 flavor menu. Only at Pizza Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Switch and save at Shattenkirk Ford. Find quality pre-owned trucks under $20,000 and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned Fords in the area. Switch today and shop our network of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. We'll even deliver it to you. Plus, every vehicle sold comes with Shattenkirk Customer Care, which offers you extra protection for no extra charge. Make the switch to Shattenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at ShattenkirkFordJasper.com.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like meat lovers, backyard barbecue chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
El Rey in Elijah.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Elijah.
Welcome back to Scott Ferrell Show. My guest is Jonathan Loudermilk. He's CEO and founder of 180 Sports Performance. Jonathan, now we left off, we were talking about some of the athletes that you trained. So let me ask you this question, something that somebody had asked me earlier. Let's say I've got an 8-year-old. Mm-hmm. Is it too soon to bring my child who's 8 to you?
Absolutely not. We kind of operate on the principle, just like in every sport, you got to teach them the foundation and fundamentals. When the kids playing baseball, they need to learn how to swing, catch, throw, right. Move efficiently in the field. For us, when they come to us at younger ages, it's easier to train them because there's no bad habits. There's no mismatched programming. There's no bad muscle memory. It's whatever we teach them. So think about the most informal years in education are like 1st through 3rd grade. That's where the foundation's laid for the rest of academic world. The same can apply athletically. If we can get them in there, you have kids that are 3 and 4 years old playing baseball and soccer right now. So why not have them come in and train and be better athletes? As a coach, I don't want robots, I want athletes.
Right.
I'd rather have 50 small children who can run as fast as possible than 50 large children who can't move. We tell our baseball and softball kids all the time, that's great that you hit the ball to the fence, but when you get thrown out at first, that's embarrassing. So we want to make better athletes. We want to hand them back to their coaches. Better athletes equals better potential, more opportunities. We see all these kids that specialize in things at young ages and they quit before they even make it to high school. So. Yes. We tell parents all the time, the first 2 questions we ask, is your athlete in or out of season? If they're in season, the training program is slightly different than it would be if they're out of season. Mm-hmm. Then we ask them, age-appropriate questions like, do you want them to do sports performance, speed, and agility, or do you want them to do strength training, or do you want them to do both? Right. We have kids as young as 9 and 10 years old that are learning Olympic weightlifting with PVC pipes. We have 3 of the top Olympic strength coaches in our area. One's actually competing in the 2020 games. And
she's legit. She's legit.
Her dad is my mentor in Olympic weightlifting, and he's the top in the world, if not just the Southeast. But Coach Stockel has been doing it for years. And we teach these young athletes how to move a PVC pipe before we ever throw a bar in their hands. We teach them how to move through bounding and skipping and leaping and jumping. Unfortunately, things that have been quickly subtracted from physical education class because of time and resources. And so our kids are more skillful movers, they're better at changing direction, they're more athletic, they're also very reactive, meaning they can get things quickly and move from one to the other without diagnosing it, thinking it through, and then moving.
Right. So. Right. It's great because what Jonathan's talking about is giving your kid a foundation. We've lost, since I started playing sports in 1973, again, he giggles. It's been a while since the 70s. And I graduated in 83. Just hearing Jonathan talk, we would have thought Jonathan was on another planet. But it's funny because I remember my first football practice. There weren't water breaks. I think my first football practice, it was 98 degrees. It's 100% humidity in North Carolina. And there is no water. Water's for the weak. So that was but I'd also spent my whole summer out on the farm. My dad believed in a hard day's work out in the middle of 100-degree weather. There was no conditioning we had to do. But now let me talk this. You're married. I got to work that in. I know Jane's listening, so we got to work some Jane in. But your wife was quite the athlete too.
That's correct.
She played college or high school.
Played a high level in high school, and due to an injury was unable to continue her career. But talented in volleyball, extremely talented in golf. My buddies don't typically want to play her in golf because she's 6 foot tall and gorgeous, and when she hits the ball further than you off the tee, it's a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, she can be mean, but that's only to me because I'm short and I'm irritating. But Jane's the great thing is Jane understands you. Here's the great thing about being 2 athletes in a marriage. They understand each other's schedule. They understand the commitment. They understand what it's going to take. And now she's actually coaching high school.
That's correct. She's going to work with the Mountain View High School girls basketball team this year. So she's extremely excited. She's in the past been a head varsity volleyball coach, golf coach, and she's worked with track and field. And she's coming back to basketball, which is where her career started with an amazingly undefeated little team out of Birmingham in the Mountain Brook area. So now she's getting back into basketball. She's got 3 small children, but we figured out that we can work the winters very well and make them a great time for both of us because she is an athlete by nature and wants to get that competitive spirit back up to par, so to speak.
Jane can do Pat Summit daycare. Pat put the crib out by the court. The girls took care of it. I remember coaching with so many ladies. I coached high school girls where I coached high school boys. And then I was friends with Sylvia Hatchell and some of the other coaches from the ACC. And it is the basketball court daycare. So every player that's not within a drill, their team manager comes by, handles the baby for a second. But you've got 3 kids. What's their ages?
5, 2, and a newborn that's almost 2 months old now.
Okay, so is the oldest playing sports yet?
Michael played baseball this year. He is coming to some of our speed and agility camps and playing around at the facility on a regular basis and trying to figure out his little niche in the world and what he wants to do and be. You
got Jim Rad. It's so funny. My oldest is in his 30s. My son didn't like playing sports. My son's an artist. He's gone on to be very successful. It's kind of weird when my whole life was sports. Mm-hmm. Everything I did was about being a coach or being in sports. And I've got a son who has absolute zero interest in it whatsoever. Thank God I was on the arts side too, and I did theater and performed. Now let's bring this around to parents that come to you, and we'll keep Jonathan around for a mailbag because I got some cool questions to ask Jonathan. All right, moms and dads, please listen up here because I didn't want to waste my time with Jonathan just on the kids. There's a reason why you've got separates. But I want to bring this back around. The greatest, and I always tell mom and dad, if you want your kids to be successful, you go first. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the folks my age, because now the folks my age are bringing their kids to you.
Correct.
Okay, we're not in the greatest of shape. We don't look like we did in high school. We don't look like we did when we were your age. I was far better shape when I was in my 30s. What can we do? I know you've set up some time at your particular facility for the folks like me to come in, and we can go first now. What is it?
Correct. We have a daily boot camp class Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. And then we have a Saturday morning 10 a.m. and a Sunday afternoon 3 p.m. class. Those tend to be our peak hours with our youth athletes. And like Scott mentioned earlier, of course you could sit in the lobby and work on Wi-Fi and things of that nature. But what we found in our moms that are coming to our boot camp class, and even our dads, is they're just thankful to have 45 minutes to themselves. That they don't got to worry about their kids. They don't got to worry if they're out in the street or doing right or doing wrong. One mom, like Scott said, has just paid it forward. She's led by example. We've trained her son for 7 months, trained her daughter for last month, and mom jumped on board 6 weeks ago. She's down 5 pounds in 5 weeks, and she told me, she goes, at this point, give me another 35 pounds and I'll be a walking billboard for your boot camp. And I said, well, right now you're a walking testament to everything that's right. You're doing what's right. You're making that daily commitment to progress. And you're showing your kids that it's great for mom to work just as hard as they are. So when they got a smile on their face cheering her on in the middle of a drill, or when they pat her on the back on the way out the door and say, Mom, we're proud of you. She texted me the other night and said it almost brings a tear to her eye every time they say something nice to her, because she's always been their biggest fan and cheerleader, and now her kids are cheering her on in her physical fitness and life endeavor.
It's amazing. Johnson's facility, if you're familiar with the Atlanta area, Chateau Elan, up to the right is how I like to say. Now, it's a little more complicated than that. But Johnson's website is currently being worked on. What's that Facebook and how they get in touch with you?
180 Sports Performance on Facebook, or 180 SP Franklin for our North Carolina or Northeast Atlanta listeners.
And the thing is, if you're going towards South Carolina, if you're from Clemson on back, you can make it to Johnson's facility and get a good workout in from the best. Again, Johnson's mentor was a guy named Chip Smith. He is the godfather of personal training and sports performance training. So you can't get better than going to Johnson's facility. So keep in mind that if you've got a child that wants to be an athlete, or if you're like me, if you want to get in a little better shape, Jonathan's the guy to go see. And the great thing is, Jonathan, you make this, let's say the crowd's over 40 for your boot camp. You make it okay to be over 40 and out of shape, because it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
That's right.
And you do the class to where people can do it.
That's correct. We tell our trainers, and we have 2 of the best boot camp instructors around. Both of them have a talented resume. And I told them from the onset that our goal was not to have clients not be able to come the next day.
Right.
Some people like to run clients in the ground, see them throw up, cause them physical and mental agony. We want it to be light and healthy. You know, if they have an injury, if something's bothering them, we need to shut it down and modify the exercise. We need to keep them out of the training room, or in adult lingo, out of the hospital or doctor's office, because at the end of the day, we want them to be repeat customers. And if they can't walk in and walk out, that's not going to happen.
And the great thing about Jonathan and what he's doing with his facility is he's not just changing your child's life, he can change yours. If you've gained a little extra weight, if you've just gotten a little out of shape, or if you've just fallen completely off the wagon and you just want to get your life back, Jonathan's the guy to go see. If you got any questions for him or I, it's questions@scottferrell.com. Also, you can send us a text, 706-889-9700. Go by Jonathan's Facebook page, go by ours, throw us a like. Also check Facebook during the show, so if you want to throw me a question out there, just make sure that the question applies to more than one person. Go by my website, scottferrell.com. Jonathan's going to stick around for the mailbag, so we're going to have some fitness questions coming your way. Again, stay tuned. Jonathan, I'm Scott. We'll see you in just a second.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $5 flavor menu. Just $5 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium one-topping pizza. Yes to Wing Street Wings. Yes to new stuffed garlic knots. And much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $5 flavor menu. Only at Pizza Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Switch and save at Shattenkirk Ford. Find quality pre-owned trucks under $20,000 and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. Shop the best selection of certified pre-owned Fords in the area. Switch today and shop our network of over 500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. We'll even deliver it to you. Plus, every vehicle sold comes with Shattenkirk Customer Care, which offers you extra protection for no extra charge. Make the switch to Shattenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at ShattenkirkFordJasper.com.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like meat lovers, backyard barbecue chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Welcome back to Scott Ferrell Show. My guest today is Jonathan Loudermilk. He's the founder and CEO of 180 Sports Performance. Normally, this is when I take questions from the mailbag and I answer them for you. I asked Jonathan to stick around because we got quite a few fitness questions. Now, if you want to be part of the fun, it's questions@scottferrell.com, SCOTFERRELL.com, or you can hit us up with a text, 706-889-9700. All right, let's get going. Jonathan, I've got the first question for you.
Okay.
It's from Donnie. Donnie lives in Jackson, Mississippi. Really nice place to go there. Gets a little hot in the summer. All right, Donnie wants to know, and Donnie did not put an age, so I don't know what it is. Donnie wants to know, what's the best way to lose weight?
Donnie, ironically, I had this exact question for myself about 6 years ago. First, you got to identify your diet and your nutritional needs. I mean, you can work out all day, but you can't outwork or outtrain a bad diet. So if you're eating, fast food or junk and you're trying to go work it off at the gym in 30 minutes to an hour and a half, the likelihood of that happening is not very successful, at least outside of 25 years old, because that was where it hit.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, though, identify your diet. Are you eating 3 to 5 meals a day? Are you eating breakfast? My wife would tell you that you got to break the fast, and if you've been sleeping for 8 to 12 hours and you wake up and put no fuel in the engine, you're going to get nothing out of the car. So eat a good breakfast. Eat throughout the day, snacks, watch what you eat. That's the key thing. And then fitness-wise, get on a great program. 30 to 45 minutes a day is wonderful. And from there, you should be on the fast track to seeing success. But understand, I have people ask me all the time, I've gained 50 pounds, can we get it off in a month? Well, you didn't gain 50 pounds in a month. We're not going to get it off in a month. So be realistic about your goals and your timeline. Get adequate sleep, proper nutrition, drink the right things, and you'll be on the road to progress.
All right, that's the physical way to do it, behavioral way to do it. Make a decision. Do you really want to lose weight? We encounter this so much. And Jonathan and I both, since we got to coach D1 athletes who went to the pros, they would always tell us, Coach, I want to get better. And there was one kid that I really believe, his name was Billy Humphreys. We both know Billy. Billy came to us as an okay player. He ended up being considered to be a McDonald's All-American by the time he was a senior. Billy made the best progression, I think, of any athlete I ever coached in 3 years, and then went on to be a big-time D1 signee. Make the decision. All right, that's great. It's why gyms are packed. Everybody loves Jonathan January 2nd, okay? And they love Jonathan till about late February, early March. And then Jonathan gets replaced by other things to do. And then Haagen-Dazs knocks on the door. And then you got McDonald's and you got Burger King and going, hey, man, come with me. And so by the time April rolls around, there's no weight loss. There's only weight gain. It comes down to a decision. Either you decide to do it or you don't. But once you decide to do it, make sure it's written in stone, and that while Jonathan's with you, do what Jonathan tells you to do. It's not going to work. It's just like what Jonathan does every day with kids. It's not going to work if you don't want to do it. So, number one reason people don't lose weight, themselves. Go look in the mirror. You're going to be the biggest stopping point to anything you ever wanted out of life. Next question. Dorothy from Charlotte, North Carolina, my old stomping grounds. I'm 60 years old. Okay, we did get an age on this one. How can I start my exercise program? But she's wondering, where does she start first?
Right. Dorothy, you said?
Dorothy,
the goal would be to find someone who can meet you where you are. Some trainers, they want to be extremely aggressive, or they want to tell you that they're progressive and they'll get you to here to there. If you have any pre-existing injuries, you need to be open and talk to them about that. If you have any pre-existing conditions, we had a teenager come in the other day and he just cracked his growth plate 6 months ago. So we have to modify a lot of what we do with that athlete. At 60, you've worked a hard life and you've been extremely successful in various realms, but there's inherently going to be something that hurts or doesn't feel like you did when you were 40 or 20. So have open dialogue with your trainer. Start with a program that is light resistance. I don't think someone of your age needs to be in there pounding it out with heavy sets and low reps.
Ooh, no guts, no glory, baby.
Light and free. Light and free means if your body feels good about it and you can do it, push yourself each day. Aqua aerobics are a tremendous way to benefit your body. It's low impact. It helps take all that pressure off the joints and the muscles. And at the end of the day, if you can find a local pool that offers a program like that, I'd say that would be a good start. My mother-in-law, she does yoga. She's about your age. She's had a hip replacement and knee replacement, so she can't jump into a CrossFit program or a boot camp program. She's got to take it a different route. So definitely find a program that fits you, that you feel comfortable at, and that your trainer and you have open dialogue when you are experiencing difficulty. Is it pain or is it just discomfort? And know the difference.
Let me work in something while we're here, and this reminds me of something. Since you were a high-level sports performance trainer, and now we see all these Olympic athletes and D1 athletes and pro athletes, how important is it to do a workout in a pool for any age?
I have searched far and near to find a pool near our facility.
But if you got one, what can you do?
If you have one, regular swimming is great, just to flush the body of lactic acid and to kind of create a buoyancy effect where you're not the issue. The water takes you out of the pound and ground that would happen on concrete or turf or any other hard surface. I would love to get our athletes in the pool once a week, midweek, have a lactic acid flush where we get their complete body rejuvenated, so the Wednesday workout and the Friday workout are just as equally beneficial, and there's no drop off through the week. But to have a pool is invaluable. I mean, you can't gauge the positive. I mean, we live in whirlpools in college and ice baths.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst 5 minutes of your life. And if you could get in a pool and equitably do that in 15 to 30 minutes, that would be excellent.
Because I tell college and high school coaches, if you've got a pool in your community, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, any sport, get your kids in the pool. Get the stress off their joints, because I'm 50-ish, and I was that hardcore, guy that was drinking the chalk protein powder in the gym, and now I've had how many surgeries, and half my body parts want to stiffen up, and I can't use them anymore. Wow, has sports performance training come since I was in high school. Let me get one more question. This one's from Facebook. This is from Jenny. Jenny is Hollywood, California. A lot of trainers out there. Jenny wants to know if she's had an injury, but they've given her the green light to come back. What's the progression to come back?
First, you got to have open dialogue again with the trainer.
Right.
You say, hey, I'm coming off an ACL injury. I'm going to be wearing a knee brace. This is what my physical therapist or my personal trainer and other sorts have told you. We tell a lot of our parents, insurance only covers the first 6 to 8 visits.
Right.
Your child's not healed, and they're not by any means ready to go back into action. And so with us, we almost start from scratch. We treat them as if they've never trained a day in their life, just like you would do if you had memory loss or any other physical ailment, where you have to go back to the beginning. We work with our athletes where they are. We don't ask them to push themselves beyond any extreme measures. But if you're coming off of an injury, you definitely need to be cognizant of the program you're doing. If you have a knee injury, you don't need to jump right back into plyometric bounding and ultra rigid change of direction or running hills. You need to, crawl before you walk and walk before you run. And we jokingly tell our parents, even if they know how to run, we can make them run more efficiently. So, be smart, know your body, have open dialogue. We always ask our athletes, if something hurts, tell us. We need to stop, modify, tweak, or in all realm, do something different. We have one athlete who has had a shoulder injury, and he can't put our bands over his shoulders and do resistant jumping. So we've now put a waist belt around him, and we can hook to his hips to do the same motion that adds no discomfort to his rebuilt shoulder.
Yeah, I still experienced that. I had part of my clavicle taken out. I had to redo this whole shoulder from all those no pain, no gain workouts when I was in my 20s. And it is difficult, and it does stiffen up a little. Let me ask you this, and this is from me, and this goes back to being a father, a coach, etc. And Jonathan doesn't know I'm going to ask this question. I know how difficult it was to take off that uniform for the last time in high school, right? It's very difficult. I know how tough it was to take that whistle and put it down and know that the next season is going to start without me on the sideline. All right, now you go to college, same thing. But here was the really cool thing. This year, you had one of the most exciting times of your life. You watched your third daughter be born.
Correct.
So what's the highs and the lows of that as a college coach? as a high school coach, a college player. I want you to talk to the athlete now. Tell them that life does go on.
I have a friend who had an opportunity to play in the NFL.
Right.
And he chose to go to South Africa and be a missionary. Had another friend in the NFL who scored a touchdown and said that at that moment in life he thought he had arrived, but it was the most empty feeling he ever had. He walked out of the NFL that day and he's now a minister in Memphis. And at the time, I'm like, you guys are crazy. My best friend had an opportunity to go try out for the Jacksonville Jaguars as a long snapper and said he'd rather be a Marine. I'm like, you guys need to tell him where to call me. I'll go take your spot. But I've learned over time that it's not about rings, it's not about championships. The finality of everything is something's going to end at some point, whether it's by choice or by chance. You will either be injured or you'll walk away.
Yeah.
I remember being at Eastern Illinois watching the clock tick by, and it felt like an hourglass on my playing career because I knew that my college football was over.
Right.
There was no pro for me. And I remember going back to the locker room, and I told Coach Sullivan, I'm not taking this uniform off. I'll just ride back to Birmingham in it. And that's about a 9-hour ride from Charleston, Illinois. But at that point, it was so surreal because I knew leaving high school, going to college, I was going to play college sports. So there was a next chapter for me. Sometimes those chapters end instantaneously, and sometimes they end at the end of the normal timeline. Be realistic with yourself. I played football. Football is not who I am, though.
Right.
I don't even watch sports now. It's kind of an ironic thing because people
And he doesn't. I can vouch for that.
I missed it for 5 years as a college athlete, so I don't miss it for the last 8 years that I've been out. And at the end of the day, there's so many greater things in life. When I go home at night, I don't want to turn on the Atlanta Braves. I want to turn into Michael, Olivia, and Bree radio, or Michael, Olivia, Bree, and Jane television station, because I have hours I need to catch up with them. And you have to put things down, and there has to be a season for everything in life. And understand, don't let your playing career define you. I have plenty of buddies that don't make it in the NFL, and they don't know what to do with their life. They think their life's over. You just have to find a new thing to substitute the joy you had during that experience. And if you have a hard time finding it, I'd ask you to evaluate who you were before sports, or who you were before you became that athlete, and use that same, purpose and passion to go after something new. I didn't think, 8 years ago when I was a head high school football coach, I'd be on a radio or TV show talking about sports. I thought it was going to be head football coach, Hoover, Alabama, loving life. And you evolve and you grow over time.
All right, you've heard it from the man. I remember mine. My greatest moment was going into one of the ACC arenas, and you look up and go, I coached that one, and I coached that one. And you realize that time went on, but man, it was so much cooler watching those kids get their jerseys retired. I'm Scott Ferrell. This is Jonathan Loudermilk. He is the CEO and founder of 180 Sports Performance. Don't miss tomorrow. Fox News, CNN headlining guy would be Randy Sutton. Randy has been in every mob movie imaginable, casino where he is the sheriff. Also, he is one of the police officers. It was in the heat of the moment during the Rodney King episode. He's going to be with us tomorrow to talk about love, life, and the condition of our country. I'm Scott Ferrell. Thank you so much for being part of us. Head on by my website. Until then, take care.